Well, all I would say to James Cameron is, welcome to the resistance, mate. It sounds like a Tofop episode. Feels like he's on the. I mean, they are the fears that I have. Is not that the technology in itself is inherently evil, but that the people who are in charge of the technology are stupid.
That's what we talked about last week. It's like the guys who are championing this and are most bullish about it are the people who will be least affected by the negative consequences of this. At the time of recording this, there was an article in the Good Weekend. Did you read this? Which was all about, I can't remember what the AI is called. It's these two ex-Google employees have created this platform, which is basically relationship AI. So it's AI that you can configure in terms of, do you want like a partner, like a lover? Do you want a psychologist? Do you want someone you can just like joke around with? It's these different models of relationships. The idea being that, you know, as we become more isolated from each other, that you will be able to model a perfect relationship. And so this,
great.
Yeah. Well,
I think. Why is the solution to
it's
the
already
problem?
worth $2.5 billion.
Why is the solution to the problem the thing that created the problem in the first place? Like, can we not get back to the idea that maybe part of the reason that we're experiencing a loneliness epidemic coincides completely with the rise of the iPhone and social media? That maybe we've actually created a problem and we don't need another artificial solution to something that was created by artificiality in the first place?
Well, and that's exactly the point of the article.
Me and James Cameron, we're like...
But I guess, look, the question is, because everyone you speak to, it's such a common topic now is AI, and
of course,
like every industry.
And everything is branded AI, even when it's not AI necessarily.
But it's the genie's out of the bottle. We can't stop it, but how do we mitigate it? Like, it feels almost even too late to legislate against it, right? Like, it's too late.
That's always great. Too late to legislate. Fuck, great.
No, we need AI to write the legislation.
Yeah, well, that's right. They'll write it. We won't understand it. They'll implement it. AIs will just talk to other AIs.
Yeah, I mean, my brother, who's a teacher, he was at a conference with the students, and one of his students' fathers works for Macquarie Bank in cybersecurity. Yeah. And my brother was like, what's the big threat at the moment? And he said, it's 100% AI deep fakes, like a voice mimicry, all that kind of stuff, getting phone calls. Bank requires like some information from you. And he said it's just moving so fast and it's getting so sophisticated. It's almost, extrapolating at a rate that the cybersecurity can't keep up with. To the point that my brother then had to transfer a large amount of money to his bank because he just bought a property. And he was like, he said, he was paralyzed. He's like, should I
just
hit send on this?
Terrified to be able
like,
to
how do I know
it?
it's going to where it's going? Like,
and there seems to be no recompense for people
fuck you.
Who are
bad luck.
Yeah, that's...
Identity theft is apparently the worst thing that can happen to you.
Yeah.
You will get harassed and chased for that money. And it's just like, what are you meant to do?
For so long, it's very hard to prove that it wasn't you. It's incredibly easy to use your details and replicate them. And it's an absolute nightmare.
And so, like, what's the Great Reset? Can we put the brakes on? Like,
pull the plug.
But how?
Literally. Unplug it all.
So we've joked about this before, where we have to go back to a pre-industrialization era, right? Like, I mean, that same journalist was talking to last week about, hanging out with the Silicon Valley guys, and he was saying the dumbest thing that, the dumbest messaging that ever was put out there was learn to code. He's like Meta have already sacked all their coders.
Yes.
They don't need coders anymore.
Yes, coding...
What we should have been saying to people is learn to farm. He said that's what will bring you the most value in the next 20 to 30 years, is knowing how to, look after yourself.
It is one of those jobs that immediately got replaced. The coding and the fact that the AI is doing the coding is one of those things that sounds terrifying. It sounds like, why did nobody at the time go, is this a good idea?
Yeah. Why did nobody say, is this a good idea?
Because some people did say, this isn't a good idea. But then some other people went, this is a great idea, and started making heaps of money. So then everyone was like, you know what? Actually, maybe it's a great idea because I don't want to miss out on this money. And now we're all that now everyone's invested too much money in it for it to actually fail. It's like crypto. Like the idea that crypto is now just so established that it kind of has to work, at least in some form, just because so many people have got so much on the line now. They just willed a dumb thing into existence. And it feels like we're about to will another dumb thing into existence.
So you said that Adam Spence he's one of the guys who's kind of optimistic about
I think, I don't want to misrepresent him, but he is much more optimistic. And particularly about the implications, the positive implications it can have and I have read a lot about like curing diseases, testing medicines, all those sort of things. There is like obviously huge advantages of them being able to run these, programs and these hypotheses. And then, you can test 1,000 of them in the time it'd normally take you to test one, and then go, of these, 73 showed, and then you can actually just go, right, we can practically test, that sort of stuff. You go, okay, well, that seems amazing. And diseases might be cured by that, which is incredible.
It's what, like, it's like it extends beyond that to it's like, crop production. How do we maximize crop yields? Anticipating weather, anticipating natural disasters, all this kind of stuff, which all sounds great.
Yes.
But where's the profit motive, Will?
Right. That's the problem, right? Because every time one of these things has come along, and this is just my problem with the people who are in charge of it. Because if you look at social media now, I was listening to Jimmy Pardo's podcast, as I regularly do, Never Not Funny, and they were on that talking about the idea of if Facebook offered a option to go to Facebook, and it was the original Facebook that we all liked, which was just a way to keep in contact with your friends and what they were up to in a way that you just kind of like, and it cost $5 a month, but it was only that version. You didn't get any of the, once you clicked on a video, you got suggested things. You didn't get any of that. It's just literally what it was. There would probably be quite a huge audience for that, because that version of it was great. It was fun to kind of have this like network that was with your friends and whatever, and it just grew. But then they had to be like, how do we monetize this thing? How do we add ads? How do we manipulate people? And I've been reading this book about like an ex-employee of like Facebook and all the stuff that they went on it. And it's just, I mean, of course, how many times does a movie or a book or a documentary or a newspaper article have to come out about like the people behind these companies that says, oh, by the way, they're terrible. Everything about this company is awful. It was started in an awful way. It continues to be awful. And the history of every one of those companies has been, even the ones that started
with the best
good,
intentions,
like Google.
Yeah, don't be evil. They scrape that off.
Let's just get rid of the don't. Because that's a much better business
or even
model.
B, just evil. Just make it like a categorical statement.
And take out the I. We'll make it cool.
Don't be evil?
Yeah, evil. Don't be evil.
This is CEO, evil. Yeah, I mean, it gets so overwhelming. And I talk to Jem about it a lot because she thinks I'm like too pessimistic, or I'm a doomsday guy or whatever, because I get so like anxious about this stuff, and she's like, you can't affect any of this, like you are getting sucked into these things which are so much bigger. But
well, I think both of those things can be true at the same time, which is that you can be right about your fears, but she can be right about your capacity to impact.
So, but what is the right approach then? Like, should you be cognizant of what's going on, knowing that you can't affect it? Or is that just going to make my life miserable? Or do you have to become like a super activist about it and like try and blow up Skynet? Like, what is the correct response here?
I mean, the correct response is blow up Skynet and, like, blow up pipelines to oil, to do all that. The civil disobedience that people on the edges of the climate change, like protests and the edges of the AI protests are doing. Of course, that is if you believe that to be true. But that's impractical, but for a very select group of people in the world. You have like a family and a life and other responsibilities. You can't just go and like
blow up a pipeline.
No. Just,
I get the feeling this episode might get flagged. I don't know. Do we?
No, I was like, I mean by AI.
Yeah, that's right.
We'll go on a list that we were already on. They're at it again.
Everyone relax.